From Jack Martinelli Field in Foxboro, Massachusetts, it's Stoughton Black Knights football on Stoughton Media Access. And hello again, everyone. I'm Steve Vecchione, and welcome to Foxboro. A windy and rainy night here in Foxboro for this game. The Stoughton Black Knights Roadshow continues. They won their first two games of the season by the same score, 28-14 in two non-conference games. Tonight, the Davenport Division opener, Stoughton at Foxboro. I'm joined once again by Dan Snyder, Stoughton analyst. Windy and rainy.
Yeah, windy and rainy is absolutely right, Steve. Fall football is back. The calendar turns over, and it's just windy. It's raw. It's cool. It's wet. That's what high school football is all about. Stoughton looking to build off a very impressive win last week against Powerhouse Catholic Memorial, and it's kind of funny, 28-14 the first week, 28-14 the second week. And when you get weather like this, ball security is very important. You saw them control the pace of the game last week, limited the turnovers, and made a few turnovers of their own. We saw that big play to go back to the house. It's going to be very important tonight. Whoever wins the turnover battle is going to have great control of this game and a good opportunity to win.
Foxboro has not beaten Stoughton since 2009, and last year Stoughton won the game at Stoughton High School 42-3. Windy and rainy tonight. We'll see how many points are on the board. I'm Steve Vecchione with Dan Snyder. You're watching Stoughton football on Stoughton Media Access Corporation.
And Maria Polisopoulos.
We are set for the opening kickoff. David Bell will kick for Stoughton. They won the toss and deferred.
Kicking off.
Kick to Foxboro.
Stoughton is Josh.
Back is
Dodgy.
Anthony Capichetti and Mike Henry. It comes up short, picked up the middle, and Foxboro will get it over the 35 as we get underway here on a windy, rainy night. Steve Vecchione with Dan Snyder.
Yeah, right off the bat, Steve, you see on the opening kickoff, we talked about it in the pregame. Ball security is going to be very important. Wet conditions out there and a bobble on the opening kickoff. So whichever team decides they want to hold on to the ball more has obviously a better shot of winning this game.
To the 36-yard line. We'll start first and 10.
Stoughton's defense gave up 13.9 points per game last season. Interestingly, in the first two games of the year against Franklin and Catholic Memorial, they gave up 14 points each. 14.0 average. So keep an eye here on how the Stoughton defense performs in the wind and the rain as Foxboro runs it in their ground and pound offense for a couple to start the game. The quarterback for Foxboro is number 10, Devin Hassett. They use two quarterbacks. Devin Hassett
Anthony Capichetti
and
to the carry.
Liam Foley, who is a junior.
Up to about the 37-yard line. Will be second and 9.
So that was a gain of 1, second down and 9. Jack Martinelli in his 36th season coaching Foxboro.
And the stop for the Black Knights, number 33, Alex Silquist, and number 53, Anthony Bark.
Hassett over center. They run the I formation. Hassett the draw, and Stoughton's defense up for the stop there to create a third and long.
Yeah, very early on, Steve. Stoughton loading the box, 10, even 11 guys at times.
On the carry again.
In conditions like this, your offense is going to be very one-dimensional. You're going to want to run the ball, keep the ball on the ground. It's very tough to pass in these situations in this kind of weather. So Greg Burke's ready for any type of run that Foxboro is going to bring.
Hassett had a 22-yard touchdown run last week in the 16-7 loss to King Philip. Again, he and Liam Foley alternate a quarterback for this team. They are not a high-powered offense. They scored just 7 points against King Philip in the win, which opened the season against Hingham. They scored 7 points. They won 7-3. They run on 3rd and 9. That's Capichetti, and Burke is up for the stop. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, Mike Henry early in motion there, trying to set up the run block to the left, just missed his guy, so he was able to take advantage.
Anthony Bark. 4th down for the Warriors.
4th and 10. So Stoughton will get it. Stoughton last week grabbed the lead in the first half. It was only a 7-0 game until an amazing defensive play, interception for a touchdown by John Jolly, which put them up 14 at the half, which really was a huge moment for Stoughton late in the first half last week. and then they controlled the second half and won 28-14. Up for it is Gonzalez. He lets it go and a fumble. It looks like he touched it.
Play.
Recovered by the Warriors. Gonzalez misplayed that.
Yeah, just some miscommunication there between Rue and Gonzalez. Gonzalez ultimately the one trying to make the play on it. Just like we said, wet conditions, very difficult to hang on to the ball.
Foxboro on the 35-yard line of Stoughton off that turnover. So that is uncharacteristic of what Stoughton has been doing the first 2 weeks of the season. They have played effective football, both offensively, defensively, special teams. They've limited their mistakes in these 2 wins so far. An early mistake. Again, though, the Stoughton defense, very strong. The Foxboro offense not as strong. So hopefully for Stoughton, they can limit the damage. But it's 1st and 10 for Hassett and Foxboro. They have one receiver out to the left, another out to the right. But again, the Stoughton defense stopping the run.
Up to number 22, Mike Henry.
Second and long coming up. Henry with the carry.
Yeah, very easy for Burke to know what Foxboro was going to do.
Brought down by Stoughton, number 32.
One-dimensional type offense. He's not going to see a lot through the air tonight, so he's able to load the box up and get his guys where they need to be.
Justin Lai.
So Stoughton commits a turnover on the punt
At
game.
the Black Knight 35-yard line.
The punt return game. And Foxboro with a golden opportunity to take the early lead here, but they have not had a good offensive play yet. We have less than 8 to go in the first quarter. Second down and 10 on the 35. They fake the Cappuccini now. Hassett to his left. Stoughton again up for the challenge on the running game. Sanda was amongst the Stoughton players in on that stop, and there is a flag.
Yeah, multitude of tacklers there. Sanda making the initial play. We saw Matt Piana get in there. Justin Lee also. Just everybody attacking the ball.
Holding on the Warriors.
Yes.
Last week, Catholic Memorial's first 5 offensive series. Fumble,
This is what, my 6th year?
turnover on downs, punt, pick 6, turnover on downs. The Stoughton defense in the first 5 series for Catholic Memorial last week, totally up for the challenge of what Catholic Memorial brought to the table. And so far, the defense has not allowed anything. And now, off that penalty, it'll be second down and 20 on the Stoughton 45.
Yeah, the only positive yardage that Stoughton has given up so far was on that fumble. Last week against CM in control from almost the opening kickoff.
So 2 receivers out to the left. They still can continue to run the ball. That's Cappuccini, the senior. He only gets a yard or 2.
Yeah, Cappuccini had the edge, just slick ground, not able to take advantage.
Anthony Cappuccini on the carry for Foxboro. Brought down by number 33, Alex Soquist.
So Shoquist with the tackle, and he has been
Third and about 19 at the Black Knight 44-yard line.
excellent on both sides of the ball. He scored last week. He had a strip sack on the quarterback of Catholic Memorial last week. Shoquist really doing a great job as a senior. It is third down and 19. As Foxboro's offense has done nothing to this point. Again, they run the ball. The ground and pound that they espouse with their venerable head coach, Jack Martinelli. They do not want to turn the ball over. That's obviously the game plan.
Yeah, just like we said, just a one-dimensional offense. He's going to try to control this game from the get-go. Knows what he wants to do on the ground, knows the game plan going into it.
Down for the Warriors.
Unfortunately for them, Stoughton, knowing the game plan, they're going to do everything they can to try to stop them.
Back for the Black Knights, number 1, Jean Roux.
So another punt coming up for Foxboro to Stoughton. Stoughton fumbled the ball away on the last punt return. We'll see how they can do here. The ball bounces short. This time they let it go. Nobody touches it. Stoughton will get a chance offensively for the first time tonight.
Yeah, you know Burke is telling his 2 guys back there, Rue and Gonzalez, that if you can't make a clean catch on it, let the thing hit the ground, let it play out.
So you have to be impressed with the Stoughton defense.
Start 1st and 10.
Foxboro got the turnover on the Stoughton 35. But Stoughton's defense pushed Foxboro back, allowed nothing. And now Evan Gibb, who has been terrific, the junior quarterback, leading the charge for Stoughton, 1st and 10 on the 18. A run on the first play. I believe that was Iverson for a couple.
Yeah, that was Andrew Iverson who scored last week against Catholic
Number 25,
Memorial. Looking to do the same tonight.
Alexander Iverson on the carry for the Black Knights.
So Stoughton's offense, multi-dimensional. Justin
Brought
Lee
down
had a
by
great
number
week last
43,
week. Ruben
Sam
Gonzalez has been really good, maintaining
2nd and 7 for the Black Knights.
his senior year status as a playmaker. Doing an excellent job. Only 3 for Iverson on that. It's 2nd down and 7, ball on the 21, and now a flag.
We got some movement up front. Looks like Stoughton's line may have jumped early.
Last week, Evan Gibb, again running and throwing the ball effectively against Catholic Memorial. Gibb was 9 of 15, 154 yards passing. 3 in the Franklin game.
Penalty
Last
pushes
week,
Stoughton back 5 yards.
he had a really good game running and throwing the ball as well. He is a
But
multi-dimensional
there's
quarterback.
17-yard line.
But Stoughton right now has a 2nd and long. Again, they may try to run the ball a lot too today with the conditions as they are. We'll see if they try to open up the playbook or run the ball on 2nd and 12. Gibb fakes. They go deep over the middle. Gonzalez, it's over his head, and he was open.
Yeah, had Gonzalez wide open, had a beat on his man. Just, you know, wind's going left to right as you watch it on your TV screen right now. Just got a little too much air under that ball, and the wind may have caught it.
2, Ruben Gonzalez.
So on the coverage for Foxboro
And on
was
the
Phil
coverage to the right,
Duray.
number 3, Phil Duray.
That was a potential touchdown, and Greg Burke not intimidated at all by the wind and rain in terms of the play calling. They went deep on 2nd and long. Now it's 3rd and long. It is a passing situation. They have the ball on the 15-yard line. Gibbs off to the far side. They run a screen. That's Lee. He will not get the first down. Stoughton will be punting with Paul Feeney.
Yeah, able to get back to the just over the original line of scrimmage, but 3rd and long. You're not looking to do anything crazy here. Keep
Pass number 2, Ruben
quick short
Gonzalez.
passes are helpful. Anything just to keep the ball in your possession, just to get the
Brought down by number 10, Devin Hassett. And number 71, Sean Teixeira.
So back for Foxboro,
But fourth
Hassett
down
on
is
the
about
far
6.
side, and Mike Henry.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
At the Stoughton 21-yard line.
The ball is at the 22, the line of scrimmage.
Oh, not tomorrow.
And that is David Bell, I believe, punting, not Feeney. So Bell punts it. Short kick. Fair catch called by Hassett. And again, Foxboro
Punt fielded by number 10, Devin Hassett.
in Stoughton territory.
At the Stoughton 46-yard line, where Foxboro will start with a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 for the Warriors.
Yeah, Foxboro starting this possession on their own side, on the other side of the 50 now. We'll see if they can get anything going on the running game. Martinelli doesn't look like he's too excited to pass, so we'll see a lot more on the ground game from Foxboro from here on out.
Well, Stoughton is definitely converging on the running game. You almost get the feeling that they may be forced to try a pass every now and then, but of course the conditions not great for that sort of thing. It's 1st and 10 on the Stoughton 46. Hassett remains the quarterback, 2 receivers out to the left. Low snap. Hassett nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
Joseph, who has been a force defensively so far this season, is there to cover Hassett.
Yeah, and that play was just doomed from the start. A low snap, not able to get control on the ball, and just, again, do anything you can. Just keep possession in your hands.
Hassett down at the Warrior 48-yard line by number 32, Jason Joseph.
So a loss of 5. 2nd and 15 coming up for Foxboro. I don't have the official stats. They may have negative yardage to this point after the last series where they were pushed back on a penalty. They have not advanced the ball hardly at all. Capichetti is watched in the backfield by a couple Stoughton players, including Bell.
And off to number 34, Anthony Capichetti.
Including Jolly. And another loss.
Yeah, I'm watching Foxboro's offensive line on that one. They're already 5, 6, 7 yards down the field. Seconds after the ball snapped, and there's nothing but a sea of white in the backfield from Stoughton. So I don't know what their offensive line is thinking there, but just open up the gates and let them flow right through, I guess.
Foxboro.
So last week, Foxboro, again, as I mentioned, they really didn't throw the ball very much at all. They had good production from Mike Henry, who had 53 yards running. In week 1, Capichetti, who we've seen a couple times carry the ball, had 109 yards. So they like the running game. They also have a player named Matt Long, who scored a touchdown in the Hingham game. That was a reception out of the backfield. But that's really been the extent of their offense this season. And Stoughton's defense has performed very well against one tough offense that we know in Franklin and Jake Noviello. And last week against a team that in the past has done very well offensively, Stoughton only allowed 14 points, and they were late, and the game was pretty much decided when they gave up the points. So the Stoughton defense is stellar to this point right now as they enter into Davenport Division play. No score here, 3:06 left in the first quarter, 60 degrees, but a lot of wind and a lot of rain.
Yeah, just a cool, raw, rainy fall night. You know, once the calendar turns over, I guess Mother Nature has her way, just bringing in the rain.
Henry and DeRay, the receivers to the near side. It's 3rd and 22. Capichetti back there with Hassett. Now they fake it to Hassett, or to Capichetti. Hassett will run it on the near side. That's a positive gain out to midfield for Hassett, but that's not going to be
Hassett on the quarterback keeper.
a first down.
Yeah, though, their most impressive run of the night thus far, but when it gets you back to the original line of scrimmage, you're not going to get much production out of it.
4th down and about 11.
So a positive gain down to the Stoughton 47, but it's 4th and 11. And again, we will have a punt.
Back with Stoughton, number 1, John Rue.
So John Rue is back now to field this punt.
Yeah, different look here. We had Rue and Gonzalez back there the last 2 punts, but now Rue just all by himself. Low snap.
That's a low snap.
Liam
Liam
Foley on the
Foley, the
punt.
punter, gets it off. It hits a Foxboro player, and Stoughton will start around their 23-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, fortunately for Stoughton, that ball hit in the foot. That was 28-80. Adrian Stapleton, excuse me. Ball looks like it had some extra roll on it, but stops dead in its tracks. Stoughton will get the ball back.
Punting for Foxboro is their other quarterback, Liam Foley. We have not seen him at quarterback yet. So it is at the 23 for Stoughton. They were not able to get a first down on their first drive. They almost had a long touchdown connection from Gibb to Gonzalez, which just missed. We'll see if they vary the offense here or try to run the ball a lot. It's 1st and 10. Iverson in motion. They go up the middle for a few. And that's Shoquist. 2nd and
Stoughton carried by number
7
33,
coming up.
Alex Silquest.
2:15 on the clock and
Brought
running
down
in
by
the first
number
quarter.
2,
Yeah, right up the middle from
number
Shoquist.
10, Devin
I'm anxious to
Hassett.
see this Gonzalez versus DeRay matchup on the outside the entire night. Obviously,
Second
Burke's
down, the
not
Black
afraid
Knights.
to go deep when he has the opportunities. We
On
know
their own
Evan has the arm
28-yard
for
line.
it. So I want to see that matchup on the outside. It looks like they're going to be battling all night.
Shoquist had a 6.7-yard rushing average last week. He has been very effective for Stoughton in his senior year. Here's Lee, who had a good game last week as well. Gets over the 30. 3rd and short coming up. Lee had 77 yards last week. He has a 4.3 average
Carried by
to
number
start
3,
the
Dustin
season.
Lai. Brought down by number 91, Alec Brodor. And also number 71, Sean Teixeira.
We've not seen a lot of explosiveness yet from Justin Lee. He had several long, big runs last year, but last week he was very effective in the ball control game, which he figured tonight will be key. Ball control, 3rd and 4 coming up.
Timeout on the field for Stoughton.
3rd and 4. Interesting to see if they'll run or pass in the wind and rain.
Yeah, from the trend that we've seen so far, I don't think either side's really excited to put the ball in the air. Foxboro, you know, we say one-dimensional offensive scheme, but they're still going to give you several looks. Stoughton's going to do the same thing. Multiple guys they can have carrying the ball, either power with Sokus up the middle or lead to the outside.
In the first game of the season, Stoughton had 3 touchdown passes. They can do both running and passing. So after that quick timeout at 3rd and 4, they do run. Here's Shoquist, and he is getting the first down. First down of the game for Stoughton.
Number 33, Alex Silquest.
We'll
on
see
the
what the
carry.
spot is. Yep. referee's going to wave the change. Just good power running there to the outside by Shoquist. Lowers his shoulder, gets the first down.
So Stoughton got 11 yards on that drive, or that series.
34-yard line.
First series on this drive, they get 11 yards in the first down. 1st and 10. Evan Gibb in trouble. Gets out of it, but loses yardage. The Foxboro defense converted.
No, absolutely nowhere to go there. And Evan almost doing a good job to escape the pocket, but
number 10,
there's too many warriors on his tail.
And number 71, Sean Teixeira.
So Hassett and Teixeira in there for Foxboro. A loss for Stoughton of 5. We are under 30 seconds in this quick-moving, lots of running play type game.
Ball down to the Black Knight.
Stoughton and Foxboro, no score.
They'll face 2nd and 15.
We'll see if they get a playoff. Less than 10 in the first quarter. In motion Lee. They go up the middle. That's Shoquist for about 3. It'll be 3rd and 13 as the first quarter runs out.
Number
No
33,
score.
Southwest on the carry.
Stoughton and Foxboro.
Foxboro tackled by number 43, Sam Blake, and number 56, David Dow. That is the end of the first quarter. The score, Stoughton 0, Foxboro 0.
So not a lot offensively for either team in the first quarter. Foxboro had the best chance off the misplay on the punt by Stoughton. So Foxboro got the ball on the Stoughton 35 on the second series for them, but they went backwards, didn't score, and Stoughton has had limited success offensively to this point. This figures to remain a very low-scoring game, at least initially with the conditions.
No, that's something you and I talked about pregame-wise as well. You know, when you get conditions like this, you're not going to be able to do a lot to move the ball offensively, and you're going to have to rely on getting that lucky turnover that Foxboro was fortunate enough to get. Just not able to do anything on the offensive side. Stoughton knows what they want to do. They're going to stop the run any way they can. Foxboro's going to try to give you different looks, but Burke's not having any of it, and just very quick first quarter, like you mentioned, and that's what you get when you run the ball a lot.
The ball's marked on the 33. It'll be 3rd and 11. Now, we talked about this perhaps being a low-scoring game, and it may very well be, but Stoughton has explosiveness. So we'll see what they draw up on 3rd and 11 to start the second quarter. Right now, Foxboro playing a game very consistent with how their first 2 games have gone. They won the first game 7-3 over Hingham. Last week, they lost 16-7 to King Philip, a team that was a Super Bowl team last year.
That's right.
Time out of the field
So
by Stoughton.
Foxboro competed hard with King Philip, and although they didn't win the game, defensively they have proven to be difficult this season to this point. So a challenge for Stoughton in its 3rd game of the season on the road.
No, you're absolutely right. Competing with Super Bowl contenders. You look at their roster, they're sporting 35 seniors this year. A lot of experience, and they remember that embarrassing loss to Stoughton last year. So those seniors, they remember that as they go into next season, as they go into tonight's game. They don't want that to happen again, so you know they're going to be tough on defense.
On 3rd and 11, Gibb looks to the far side. It is incomplete. Incomplete. 4th down coming up. And let's see who that was intended for. I think
it looks like that was for Sander.
Number 12, Colin Sander, incomplete. Mike Henry, number 22, in on the coverage.
Yeah, pass intended for Sander. Good defense by Henry there to knock the ball away.
So Henry and Hassett are back for Foxboro.
Back for Foxboro, number 10, Devin Hassett, number 22,
so
Mike
punting
Henry.
for Stoughton is Shoquist. So we don't see Paul Feeney out there. Shoquist takes that high snap, kicks it short to around midfield. It takes a Stoughton bounce. They let it go. Foxboro will have it on the
Stoughton punt
46-yard
is
line.
down at the 46-yard line of
First and 10 for
Foxboro. They'll take
Foxboro
over
from
on
their own
down.
46.
No, Stoughton's going to be going with a punter by committee for at least tonight's game. I saw Paul Feeney on the sideline, sling over his shoulder, over his right shoulder. I'm not sure the extent of the injury, Steve, but he obviously will be inactive for at least tonight's game. So they're going to be going with a punter by committee. We saw Kochi on the first possession with the punt, and then Soquist there. So I don't know who's going to be taking control of the punting duties, but Feeney will not be in this game tonight.
Yeah, I think I said Bell. It was Kochi on that first punt. Bell had kicked off last week or 2 weeks ago against Franklin. Anyway, Foxboro first and 10. Now they throw the ball along the near side, and Stoughton and Sanda ready for that on the completion. Very short.
That's a pass complete to number 1,
Second
Jack
down.
O'Donnell.
No, Sanda may have made the initial tackle on that one, but Soquist had that
Tackle
ball on
by
his
number
side.
12,
He was just
Colin
one step
Sanda.
away from taking that back to the
Number
house.
55.
Had a good beat on the ball.
Matt Piana.
Jack O'Donnell with the catch, but it was a loss of a yard.
Yeah, first time we've seen Foxborough go to the air tonight. Didn't get not too successful.
2nd and 11 for the Warriors at their own 45-yard line.
Really, the only effective offensive play that Foxboro's had was that 3rd and long run by Hassett, which did not get the first down. It's 2nd and 11. This is Henry, gets about 4 up to the 49.
Mike Henry on the carry.
3rd and 7.
Yeah, David Bell on the right side of the line there, able to get
Brings it out to the
good pressure.
49-yard line.
Ran right by him.
No score in the game. Stoughton has scored 28 points in their first 2 games this season.
Foxboro will face a 3rd and 7.
Neither offense has been able to do much in these poor conditions here at Jack Martinelli Field, renamed Jack Martinelli Field. Jack
Tackle number
Martinelli,
33, Alex Soquist.
the
And number
36th year
55,
coaching this team.
Matt Piana.
Of course, Greg Burke in his 25th season for Stoughton. These two venerable coaches know each other very well.
Yeah, 2 names that are synonymous with high school football in Southeast Massachusetts with Martinelli and Greg Burke. 2 guys rich in tradition.
3rd and 7, passing situation. Hassett fumbles it, now throws it deep. Looking for O'Donnell. Good coverage, incomplete. And back there for Stoughton,
That's a
Ryan
pass to
Semler.
number 1.
Ryan
Jack
Semler, good
O'Donnell
defense
is
there, but
incomplete.
Jack O'Donnell trying to pin it
And on the
almost to
coverage
the
for the
back of
Black Knights, number
Semler.
29.
Just unable to corral, these wet conditions, very tough to hang on to the ball.
For the Warriors.
But a good ball there, good ball there thrown by Devin Hassett. Put it right where it needed to be, just unable to bring it in.
9:02 left in the second quarter.
William Foley back to punt for the Warriors.
So Foley back to punt for Foxboro. Takes it and a low kick. They're going to let it bounce again. Gonzalez lets it go. And now Stoughton is pinned. This is the strategy
Foley's
for
punt
Foxboro.
rolls down to the Stoughton 11-yard line where they'll take over 1st and 10.
Pin Stoughton, hope for a turnover, hope that your strong defense can win the field position game, and maybe that's how Foxboro can come out with a win against Stoughton in the mind of Jack Martinelli.
Yeah, it's a chess match right now. You're playing the field positioning game. Conditions like this, you're not going to get a lot going on offense. Just pound the ball, keep it in your hands, and then when it's time to punt it way downfield. Hope you can get a lucky bounce. Maybe you can win the turnover battle.
Ball on the 13, 1st and 10 for Stoughton. Lee has trouble with it, fumbles it. Who recovered? Foxboro recovered. We just talked about turnovers, and that's what happened there. Foxboro with a great chance now, deep in Stoughton territory. I think it was recovered by Sean Teixeira, but we will see who officially came up with that. The big thing is that right now the ball is on the 9-yard line. First and goal for Foxboro.
I mean, 36 years in coaching high school football, you've seen a couple games with these types of elements before, especially here in New England. So you kind of know what you're doing when it comes to games like this. Like we said, just pound the ball, punt it away, hope for a lucky bounce or turnover. And that's exactly what happened.
All right, 2 receivers out to the left. 1st and goal. Can Foxboro take advantage of another Stoughton turnover? Has it to his left. Gets the edge and is stopped along the sideline, on the far sideline. I think that's Soquist out there who made that stop. It'll be 2nd down and about 7, maybe? No, 2nd and goal.
No, there is a flag on the field too,
That's
Steve,
it, the
so
quarterback
might be a
keeper
hold on
brings it down to the
Foxboro. Looks like
5-yard line.
they're marching back a little bit.
Reception is a little spotty.
Blocking back.
What was that about, Bonnie?
10-yard penalty to the spot. Repeat first down.
So you may have heard that, a block in the back, and that creates a much tougher offensive situation for Foxboro after getting the fumble recovery. They're going to push this back from the spot of the foul, a block in the back, a huge mistake. That brings it out to the 15-yard line. So a break for Stoughton.
Yeah, that's outside of a turnover to give it ball back. Excuse me. That's probably the worst thing you can do as an offense. You just get the ball back. You're deep in your opponent's territory. You finally get a good playoff, and then you're pushed back by a penalty.
First and goal at the 15. They're going to throw. Now Hassett looking into the end zone for O'Donnell. Knocked away by Hadley.
Yeah, good play by Hadley there, and then Gonzalez trying to clean up the guard behind him, but unable to get there. But good play by Hadley.
Number 21, Matthew Hadley, in on the coverage.
So Foxboro has 3 senior receivers: O'Donnell, number 1, Mayer, number 2, and Duray, number 3. So 1, 2, 3. Who does Hassett go to on this call if they do decide to throw the ball?
Yeah, it's tough to figure it out because you got 3 experienced receivers, so everybody's had that situation before, so they all know what they're expected of.
Capicetti's back there with Hassett on second and goal. He rolls to his right, looks into the end zone. That is caught, and that is a touchdown, a terrific
Foxboro touchdown!
6-0 Foxboro.
Very impressive there by Duray. High school football rules, just need 1 foot down. Duray, that's all he needed. Got the 1 foot down, gets the score.
Duray kept his foot in bounds. That's Phil Duray, 5'7", 150. Caught that ball. Foxboro with a
Number 6, Russ Neal in for the extra point.
pass for a touchdown. And the Warriors have the 6-0 lead with 8:07 to go in the second quarter.
Not bad for a 5'7" senior, you know. Scrappy little cat. Makes a good play, though.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Goal.
Well, you may have heard that. A personal foul on Foxboro after the touchdown. That was a beautiful pass by Hassett. And Duray kept his foot in. The coverage was there. You know, coming into this game, I would have predicted that Foxboro would not have a touchdown pass in this game based on previous performances. But now a 6-0 lead on a field that is questionable on a rainy, windy night. That is trouble for Stoughton early. Plenty of time, of course, but a touchdown pass. Did not expect that, really.
No, and you're right. The coverage was there, and then Hassett just put up a beautiful ball rolling out to his right, able to keep his feet from under him and make a good throw. Put it exactly where it needed to be for Duray to come down with it.
Russell Neal is the place kicker. That's low. The personal foul hurt Foxboro there. The ball was pushed back to the 25.
It's no good.
So Neal misses the extra
Foxboro
point.
takes a 6-0 lead. 8:07 left in the second quarter.
Hassett to Duray, 15 yards for the first score of the game. 6-0 Foxboro.
Yeah, let's see if that personal foul penalty and the missed extra point as a result of it plays an impact later on in this game.
So again, Stoughton came out tonight on a high. 2 wins, 28-14, 2 victories. The road show, as we talked about in the open, continuing with the construction going on at Stoughton High School. Stoughton will be on the road for a while, not just this season.
Back for Stoughton on the
Undetermined
kickoff.
as to when they're
Number
going
1,
to have that
John
field
Rubin.
ready.
Number 2, Ruben Gonzalez.
And it'll be beautiful once it
Kicking
is.
off for the Warriors. Number 6, Russ Neal.
So Rue is back along the near side for Stoughton. And I believe that's Gonzalez on the far side. As Neal will kick off. Stoughton, a couple turnovers in this game on a punt return, on a lead run. And the second turnover led to a touchdown pass from Hassett to Duray. Here's the kickoff by Neal. Gonzalez has trouble with it, but he gets it up the right sideline. Here he goes.
He's got a lane.
Ruben Gonzalez looking for blocking. Continues all the
Just
way.
the
That'll
kicker
be a
gets right
touchdown
by
from
him.
Ruben Gonzalez. No flag.
Oh, no laundry on the field. And that's a good way to silence the crowd here. They were getting fired up after that last touchdown, but Gonzalez not able to reel in the deep pass earlier, but just takes it into his own hands and gets the touchdown.
Number 2, Ruben Gonzalez.
We'll get
the kickoff return.
We'll get the official number as to where he fielded that ball. But Ruben Gonzalez turns this game around in a heartbeat with a kickoff return for a touchdown. A huge momentum shift after Foxboro had taken the lead off the Stoughton turnover. But now it's 6-6, and Josh Kochi is out there for the extra point. He is 6 for 6 on extra
Josh
points.
Chachi on for the extra point for the for the Black Knights.
And a block there, but not sure if that was just mishandled or just a low snap, but a block by Foxboro.
Was blocked by number 3, Phil DeRay.
So DeRay comes up on the block after scoring the touchdown on this end. Unofficially, I'm told, by the way, that was 87 yards for Ruben
So
Gonzalez.
it's 7:44 left in the second quarter. Stoughton 6.
We've had 2
Foxboro Warriors 6.
missed extra points in this game. So it's 6-6.
So it looks like what I alluded to earlier, if the missed extra point from personal foul is going to make a difference. Doesn't look like it will, since DeRay comes up with another huge play. And I have a feeling that's not the last time we're going to hear his name at a big play tonight.
Now Foxboro has some seniors. Looking back last
Back
year,
for the Warriors. Number 22, Mike Henry, and number 34, Anthony Capuchetti.
Stoughton beat Foxboro 42-3 last year, 42-3. They led at halftime in that game, 14-3, and mistakes cost Foxboro in the first half
Picking
last
number
year.
24, Josh Chachi for the Black Knights.
Stoughton came out in the second half last year and just took over the third quarter. It was a tight game at halftime. We have a tight game here in the second quarter. It's 6-6. There have been plenty of mistakes now on both teams. Personal fouls, fumbles. It's 6-6. Henry comes up to field it, goes up the middle, and is over the 35. Foxboro with good field position.
Henry with the carry. Out to the Warrior 36-yard line.
Ball in the 37.
Number 3, Justin Lai. And number 24, Josh Chachi on the tackles for Stoughton.
Devin Hassett and Foxboro, 1st and 10 on their own 37. Hassett had a touchdown pass to Phil DeRay in this quarter, here in the second quarter. And then Ruben Gonzalez off the kickoff, 87 yards for the tying touchdown. Both teams have missed extra points.
Yeah, Martinelli starting to open up the playbook a little bit, letting Hassett get outside the pocket, make some throws on the run. We saw that very impressive pass to DeRay to score the last touchdown. Let's see what he goes with here, trying to keep Stoughton on the heels.
They run the eye. Capuchetti is thrown for a loss. That's Burke in the middle of that.
Yeah, Burke sniffed that out from the get-go. Just able to penetrate the line, just get back to the backfield,
Capuchetti on the
made a
carry.
great play.
Brought down by number 53,
3-yard loss.
Anthony Burke.
2nd and 13. So Foxboro opened up the playbook a
Second
little
and
bit
13
after
for the
they
Warriors.
got the ball back on the fumble on the previous drive. We'll see if they continue with the passing game or if they're content to ground and pound, as Coach Martinelli called it last week after the game against King Philip. They're confident in their running game. They've not been able to run the ball well on the Stoughton defensive line to this point. 2nd down and 13 on the 34. Hassett. Again, they try to run it. And in the middle of that for Stoughton is John Jolly.
Yeah, John Jolly, who made an impressive play with the pick 6 against Catholic Memorial in on that play. And formation-wise, I'm not seeing a lot from Foxboro that would indicate they're going to mix it up a lot. Pretty standard formations. Yeah, they'll split the wide receivers out wide, but
number 53,
keeping the tight end and the block, seeing a lot more running.
John Jolly with one of the most memorable defensive plays you will ever see on that interception off the tip, and a defensive lineman's dream just before halftime, going all the way. They got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for celebrating too much. Greg Burke didn't care at all. 3rd and 12. Hassett steps up. Now he's going to run. Yanked to the ground hard. Short of the first down. And getting up, and that is Malachi Green Hightower, who made the defensive play. He got up after making the tackle.
Yeah, Hightower went down in a hurry, stayed down, looked like he was going to be hurt, but gets back up on his feet.
Devin Hassett on the carry.
And him combined with Anthony Burke doing a good job to limit the first down, limit the yardage to prevent them from getting the first down.
Back to punt
Back for Stoughton.
for the Warriors, number
Gonzalez and Rue.
14, Liam Foley.
Like the Patriots, they'll wear blue on their red.
Liam Foley back to punt.
It's going to be okay, Steve. Don't worry.
Competing with our PA announcer here in the press box.
Great punt.
All right, that was Foley with the punt. 42-yard, let's see where they marked this. 25-yard line. The ball was on the 38. So, let's see, that was 25 and 12. 37-yard punt, no return.
Yeah, pretty impressed with Foley's job tonight in the punting game.
Right inside the Stoughton.
You never really, the wind's kind of swirling around left and right, back and forth. You don't really know what's going to do. The rain, the wind in your face, the mist, it's very difficult to get the elements, get used to the elements, excuse me. He's done an impressive job tonight, pitting Stoughton back deep in their own territory.
Stoughton had some bad weather winds last year. The Sharon game early in the season in September. The Milford game, both Milford games actually, were tough weather games at Stoughton High School. 1st and 10 on the 25. They go up the middle. A very short game, the Stoughton running game, not able to establish itself early yet.
No, we haven't seen the explosiveness tonight that we saw the last 2 weeks from Stoughton. Foxboro doing a good job plugging all the holes and plugging all the gaps.
So this has been a game of mistakes. Stoughton fumbled the punt the first time Foxboro punted to Stoughton.
Brought down by number 43, Sam Blake.
Stoughton fumbled the ball way deep in their own territory, leading to a Foxboro touchdown. But then Foxboro, after committing a penalty, an unsportsmanlike penalty, had the ball pushed back on the extra point. They missed it. Then they allowed a kickoff return by Gonzalez. So mistakes on both sides. Here's Lee. Cuts to the right side, gets positive yardage over the 30. It'll be 3rd down and intermediate.
Black Knight carry number 3, Justin Lee.
So 3rd and
Brought down by number 2, Teddy
about
Bear.
3.
Yeah, like I said earlier, not seeing the explosive plays from Stoughton tonight. Foxboro doing a good job plugging all the gaps. Just not seeing a lot of variety from Burke's offense right now. Keeping the ball on the ground as best he can.
Under 4 minutes to go, second quarter. All the points in this game have been in this second quarter. 3rd and 3.
That's why I don't put it back.
That's Lee to the left
I'll
of
never get my pants back up.
Gibb on this 3rd down play. Lee in motion, and he gets it. Goes up the middle. I think he stops short, and that's a fumble
ball's
by
down.
Lee.
Foxboro looks like they've had it.
We'll wait for the indication. That is a fumble recovery for Foxboro. Justin Lee with another turnover. And Foxboro has it on the Stoughton 35.
Fumble covered by the Warriors.
Yeah, one thing you know Greg Burke's going to be talking about to his team in the locker room at halftime. Ball protection, ball protection, ball protection. 2 hands on the ball, especially when you're about to make contact with your defender. Nothing worse than turning the ball over deep in your own zone.
Foxboro's defense is hard hitting. This is a very physical game. Of course, the question for Stoughton coming into the year, how would they replace both lines? So far this season, both offensive and defensive lines have been very effective. Now Hassett fumbles that snap, and that'll be a loss for Foxboro way back to the Stoughton 41. It'll be 2nd and long.
Yeah, another low snap there. The center just not able to get a good ball back to Hassett, and Hassett doing a good job, just fall on top of it.
He said dry off the ball.
So Hassett getting the play.
2nd and about 16 for the Warriors.
2nd and 16.
On the Black Knight 41-yard line.
Foxboro was able to open it up after recovering the previous fumble, Stoughton has committed 3 turnovers in this game to this point. This has been uncharacteristic of how they have played so far this season, but again, the conditions are not great. But part of it has to do with mental errors and hard hitting on the part of Foxboro. 2nd and 16, back to pass, Hassett. Goes to the far side, that's DeRay. DeRay gets a few more out of it. Down to the 29.
Hassett to number 3, Phil DeRay.
12 yards.
Good. DeRay just catching the initial screen right at the line of scrimmage, making his defenders miss, and get some good extra yardage afterwards.
Probably 4 down
Tackle at
territory.
number 29, Ryan Semier. Timeout, Foxboro.
So the timeout, the Warriors will talk this over. Again, they probably have 2 plays from where they are. It's 3rd down and 5 on the 30, we'll call it. But if they don't get the first down, it's probably too far upfield to punt. If they don't go too far back, you would think they would go for it on 4th down, but you don't know. Again, the field position game is everything in this game. They may try to do a squib kick and pin Stoughton deep. That worked the last time pinning Stoughton deep, leading to the Foxboro touchdown. Out of the timeout, it's 3rd and 5. They go up the middle and they get the first down with Henry, and Henry
And off to number 22, Mike Henry.
Yeah, I was just about to mention a situation like this, 3rd and short, deep in your opponent's zone, where it's kind of too close to punt, not close enough for the field goal. Kind of opens up your playbook a little bit. You can play around with who the ball carrier is going to be or what you're going to do. But when you pound it up the middle like that, it makes it a lot easier for your next decision. You got the first down.
Henry ran for almost 5 yards a game, 5 yards per play last week in the game against King Philip. He had 11 carries for 53 yards. So 1st and 10, Foxboro on the Stoughton 18. Again, they go to Henry, and he's battling, and he gets a few out of that. 2nd down and 6 or 7 coming up.
Yeah, he's met by about 20 other guys on the field outside of Hassett, the quarterback, and Burke, who had the initial tackle lined up in the backfield, just runs right by him, unable to corral him in.
He got close to 5 on that, a lot of extra effort.
That gets about 4 yards on that carry, down to the Stoughton 14-yard line.
So they say
2nd and 6 for the Warriors.
They say it's on the 14. They're calling it 2nd and 6. O'Donnell out to the near side. They go up the middle, and that is a touchdown for Foxboro.
Touchdown,
Hand it off to your big man, let him do the work. Just pound it up the middle, and a good run by Henry.
Henry looked outstanding on that drive, and I think the Foxboro offensive line did a good job on the defensive
Foxboro
line.
touchdown, number 22, Mike Henry.
12-6 with the extra point coming up.
Yeah, much better performance there by the Foxboro offensive line. We saw earlier on the game, pretty complacent, allowing Stoughton to get a lot of pressure. And then that drive, taking charge, making the holes, letting Henry run right through for the touchdown.
So Russ O'Neill will try the extra point. He's 0 for 1. He had a long attempt on the last extra point. This one is right through there. So it's 13-6 Foxboro with a minute 14
Extra point
to go.
is good.
In the first half.
1:14 left in the second quarter. Foxboro 13, Black Knights 6.
So Stoughton will most likely air it out here and try to get something on the scoreboard before halftime. They're in an unfamiliar position late in the first half here. They were trailing against Franklin early in the first game of the season, but they came back and they led 14-7 at the half, almost led 21-7 after Rue made a catch near the goal line. But then they did a very solid job in the second half of that game to win 28-14. Last week, Stoughton against Catholic Memorial led 14-0 at the half. So an unfamiliar position to be down 7 with a minute 14 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, interesting situation here for Stoughton. You know, it's something they're not too used to. They're used to playing with the lead,
Take it off to the Warriors, number 6,
later on in the half and leading into halftime. But you don't want to get too aggressive if you're Stoughton here, because the turnovers have hurt you this game.
Number 2, Ruben
You just want to keep the ball in your possession, try to limit the turnovers again. 3 tonight already. They're losing the turnover battle, like we mentioned in the beginning of the game. And if you're Burke here, I'm pretty happy going into halftime with down just one possession. You don't want to give the ball back here and let Foxboro score.
We'll see how they handle the kickoff. Gonzalez has the only score in this game on a kickoff return. This time it's Rue. He's dangerous too. He goes over to the far side. Cuts upfield. He's fast. And he gets up to the 35, still on his feet with a minute 3 and running left in the second quarter.
Getting a little chippy out there. Foxboro just trying to keep Rue on his feet, trying to bleed as much clock as they can before they go into halftime.
Rue is very dangerous back there as well.
On the tackle for the Warriors, number 2, Teddy Mayer.
Overall,
and number 34, Anthony Capuchetti.
So 67 yards to the end zone with a minute 2 to go in the half.
Black Knights will take over on their 33-yard line.
So we'll keep an eye on Gonzalez. We'll keep an eye on Sanda. We'll keep an eye on Hadley. Gonzalez comes out to the near side. 1st and 10 on the 33 for Evan Gibb. He has long pass capability, but they do run it, and that's Shoquist up the middle for a first down. We're close to it, around the 44. We'll see where they mark it.
Yeah, explosive running there by Shoquist there too, able to get the first down, it looks like.
Brought down by number 43, Sam Blake.
And they do call it a first down. The clock has stopped, 53 seconds to go in the first half. And a timeout is called.
Timeout on the field.
So recapping the action that's taken place here in the second quarter, a Stoughton fumble by Lee led to a touchdown pass from Devin Hassett to Phil Duray to give Foxboro a 6-0
Also
lead.
in that last tackle, number 22, Mike Henry.
They missed the extra point. Stoughton came back on the ensuing kickoff with Ruben Gonzalez, who has done a tremendous job demonstrating playmaking skills this season. He ran 87 yards on the kickoff return for the touchdown. The extra point, no good. 6-6, then off another Lee fumble. Mike Henry with the touchdown run for Foxboro. It's 13-6 with 53 seconds to go in the second quarter. They run the ball with Lee along the far side.
Lee of the carry.
Gets over midfield, down to around the 48, and the clock stops with 45.9 to go. So not throwing the ball.
Carey takes the ball right out.
No, it's nice to see Lee still getting some carries, still getting his name called in the huddle, especially with the turnovers he's had tonight. It's good for his confidence, keep it building. You don't want to completely cut a guy out of the playbook just because of a couple turnovers. You want to get his confidence back up and give him the ball more.
And we know how capable he is. They marked it at midfield, 2nd and 4. 45.9 to go. They do run it again with Lee. He gets 5, 10, 15.
Still going.
Busts it down to the 32. Good strategy. They're in position now to score.
Brought down by number 3, Phil Duray, number 18, Pat Gavaney.
36 seconds to go in the quarter. Stoughton on the move.
Just as I mentioned too, just keep getting Lee the ball. You know he's got explosive ball carrying capabilities and just able to bowl his way over multiple Foxboro defenders on his way to near the red zone.
That was a 17-yard run. Now we'll see if
takes it down to the Foxboro 33-yard line.
Well, you know Evan's got the arm for it, so it's definitely in the back of Burke's mind.
On Saturday, September 30th, 2017, Foxboro Field Hockey Boosters will be hosting its second annual mattress fundraiser sale. Need a mattress? Come to the Ahern Saturday the 30th, 10 to 5 p.m. at the cafeteria at the Ahern Middle School. Please come out and support the field hockey program.
3 receivers out to the left on 1st and 10 on the 33. Gibb takes the snap. Screen pass, snuffed out beautifully by Foxboro. Tremendous defensive play. Sam Blake, the senior.
Sam Blake ran that one all the way.
Alex Silquist. Brought down by number 43, Sam Blake.
Timeout, Stoughton. That's their final timeout of the half.
So that play did not work. We saw A very nice screenplay with Ruben Gonzalez in the first week of the
Blake
season.
tackle takes the ball out to the Warrior 36-yard line, which Stoughton will face his second and 13.
So 2nd and 13 upcoming from the 36. You got to look for Rue in this situation, I think, deep. You got to look for Gonzalez, of course.
Is that Mary?
They probably need to take some shots here deeper on 2nd and 13. We'll see what they come up with. There is still plenty of time to run a couple plays and get close to the end zone and then maybe take a shot to the end zone. Let's see what they elect to do. Rue along the near side. 2nd and 13.
You gotta look for your playmakers here.
Gibb runs up the middle. Good gain. Down to the 25. 20 seconds
Evan Gibb on the carry.
running.
For the Black
Third down.
Knights.
They got to
Tripped
move.
up by number
Slow to
7.
get up there. Winston, you saw him, and he's having trouble getting off the field, Steve.
Third down.
He's down to a knee. He's down to 2 knees. This is not a good sign for the Stoughton offense right now.
Johnny Medina, the senior captain, is the backup, but he gets up. He gets up. Evan is fired up.
Yeah, walking with a lot more purpose now than he just was a few moments ago. Trying to jog it off the field, but we'll see Medina here come in.
3rd and 2. It is Medina in motion.
And cornerback to the Black Knights, number 9, Jonathan Medina.
Hadley. 5 seconds. They got to go to the end zone here. Medina takes it. Goes deep into the end zone. Knocked away, and that'll be the end of the half. So Medina came in with Gibb hurting. They did go deep into the end
Pass is
zone
brought down by number 10.
and inspired
Seven.
first half for the Foxboro Warriors. They have 13 points in this game. They only had a combined 14 points in the first 2 games.
13-6.
The score at halftime. Stoughton trailing. It's 13-6 Foxboro. I'm Steve Vecchione with Dan Snyder. We'll be back. You're watching Stoughton High School football, the Black Knights, at Foxboro on Stoughton Media Access. Getting ready to start the second half. Steve Vecchione with Dan Snyder. Stoughton trails 13-6 at halftime. It is homecoming this weekend here at Foxboro. We had homecoming ceremonies at halftime in the pouring rain and
Welcome
high
back to the
winds.
third quarter.
We'll
Kicking
see
off
how
the
the
Warriors,
field
number
is in the
6,
second half.
Russ Field.
Evan Gibb looked to be okay, by the way, along
Back to
the
the Black
sideline.
Knights. Number 1,
If you remember, he
John
left
Rue.
the
Number 2,
game
Ruben Gonzalez.
late in the first half. He had to leave on the last play of the half. Johnny Medina came in briefly. So now Stoughton will get the kickoff. As we get set to start, let's see what they do offensively. The only score for Stoughton in the game, an 87-yard kickoff return by Ruben Gonzalez, who is back with Ajan Rue as we start the third quarter. Almost.
Well, like you said, Steve, weather is playing an impact in tonight's game. We saw pouring rain throughout the homecoming ceremony, and the wind just knocking the ball off the tee.
It's a good thing this game wasn't being played during that halftime ceremony. It was.
Oh, that was awful.
pouring.
That was brutal. I felt so bad for the homecoming kings and queens there.
All right, Rue comes up for it along the near side on the kickoff.
John Rue to carry.
And Foxboro with some hard
Brought down by
hitting.
Foxboro is number 52, Hunter Williams.
Hunter Williams with the stop on Rue. He is a junior.
Yeah, more of the same for
Stoughton will start on their own 16-yard line.
Came out of the gate fired up in the first half and just coming out even hotter in the second.
Rue was trying to make something happen there, but he was running in the wrong direction. So the ball was on the 16. Stoughton has it deep again in its own territory. Several Stoughton turnovers in the first half. We'll see what they decide to do here. Will they stay patient and run the ball, or or are they going to open it up a little bit? They do stay patient on the first play up the middle, about 3 yards.
Yeah, not deviating from their game plan too much. Sending out Gonzalez out wide, but still keeping 10 guys in close to the line. Burke doesn't look like he wants to pass anytime soon. He's going to keep running the ball.
Carey takes the ball out to the 19-yard line. Brought down by Foxboro's number 44, Matt Pond.
Second down and 7 on the 19-yard line. Stoughton trailing by 7. All the points in this game came in the second quarter. In motion, Iverson. They go up the middle. Very limited yardage, setting up a third and passing situation.
Soquist on the carry for Stoughton.
Stoughton ranked number 3 coming into this game by the Boston Herald.
Brought down by number 52, Hunter Williams, and number 91, Alex Brodor.
In the Division III South. 2 excellent games to start the season on the road. All
third and about 5
the Stoughton road
for the
games
Black Knights.
this year will be challenges for this team. Not being able to play its games at Stoughton High School with the renovation going on. But so far they've been up to the challenge. It's 3rd and 5, 9.5 to go, third quarter. Gibb calling signals, multi-dimensional quarterback as we know. They go the opposite direction. A good game for Iverson up along the far sideline. Big gain up near midfield, first down, Stoughton.
And a good open field tackle by Mike Henry there. Iverson had the outside.
Number 25, Alexander Iverson. Brought down by number 22, Mike Henry.
So with the ball marked at the
Iverson's carry takes it out to
47,
Black Knight 48-yard line. Will they'll start 1st and 10.
we'll call it the 48. We'll call that 26 yards by Iverson on that run. So they run on third down, a very effective play. Good play calling there, 1st and 10. Stoughton down 7. Iverson gets it again along the left side. He breaks
And he's
free.
got room.
Iverson will go all the way for a 52-yard touchdown run.
A little bit of life here from Stoughton. You didn't,
Stoughton touchdown by number
you didn't hear
25.
Iverson's name called too much in the first
Alexander
half.
Iverson.
It makes 2 big plays to get Stoughton on the board here in the second.
So they do keep the ball on the ground very effectively. The offensive line, which I think struggled a little bit in the first half, opening up some big holes on those 2 Iverson runs. Iverson running with abandon, and all of a sudden Stoughton down a point, pending the extra point attempt by coaches. So we'll
Josh Chochi back on for the extra point.
holding Medina. Now a flag. It's blocked, but I think Foxboro was offside. They may try this again.
Yeah, they got in the backfield there in a big hurry there. Probably an offsides here. But not the start you wanted if you're Jack Martinelli on defense. He pins Stoughton back and they're deep in their own territory on the opening kickoff. And it looks like you've got everything momentum-wise going your way. And then 2 long runs by Iverson sets up the touchdown.
Repeat the try.
By the way, I mentioned that Stoughton was ranked number 3 in the Division III South by the Boston Herald. They had Stoughton ranked number 21 of the top teams overall in Eastern Massachusetts. Down 7 at the half, they come out with abandon with Alex Iverson running for a 52-yard touchdown run. It's 13-12. Again, they're going to try this extra point to potentially tie the game. Now they're going to go for 2 with Gibb back there. So a change of plan, going for the lead here. Here's Gibb. They give it to Iverson. He cuts back, and Foxboro stops Iverson.
Hand off to number 25.
Foxboro keeps the lead.
Alexander Iverson. Stopped by number 2, Teddy Bear. And number 44, Matt Pond.
Pond and Mayer stopping Iverson. He tried to cut back there. So Greg Burke's changing it up. They tried the extra point first. After the penalty, they came back, and then they went for 2 in the lead. Couldn't get it.
Yeah, he must not like what he sees out of his special teams right now, because a situation like that, you want to try to take the points and at least even this ball game up. And even with the play call going for 2,
8:45 left in the
generally
third quarter.
you like to see runs up the
Foxboro
middle.
13.
You don't want to go to the outside. You want to try to get to the hole as fast as you
Stoughton
can,
12.
not break it to the outside.
So the kicking and punting games in this game have been very prominent. There have been 2 missed extra points, A miss.
Kicking off for the Black Knights, number 24,
Two-point
Judge
attempt by Stoughton.
Kachi.
A kickoff
Back to the
return for a
Warriors, number
touchdown for
22, Mike
Stoughton.
Henry, and number 34, Anthony Capichetti.
A fumble by Stoughton on a punt return. So the kicking game and punting games have been prominent.
And now the rain's coming down. Probably the hardest it has all night.
Things are heating up in the rain and wind. Henry comes up to
Henry
field
fields
it,
it.
and he moves forward over the 30, 1st and 10 Foxboro with the rain coming down in droves.
Yeah, that was
Henry's
Michael
brought
Anderson
down by
at the
number
bottom of the pile.
59, Michael Anderson.
So the ball will be placed on the
Foxboro will start
31.
at the 30-yard line,
We'll call it the 30.
1st and 10.
So the Foxboro offense, 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. Devin Hassett to Phil DeRay from 15 yards and a Mike Henry 14-yard touchdown run, accounting for the 2 touchdowns. 13 points for Foxboro. They had 14 combined points in their first 2 games. So Foxboro up a scant point. DeRay in motion as we get going on the Foxboro series. That's Capichetti, met at the line and pushed back by Burke and Showquist, and a good play by the Stoughton defense.
Hey, right. You feel like you're going to see a lot more running from Foxboro here. I mean, it got them, with the exception of that.
Brought down by number 33, Alex Showquist, number 53.
It's not fun trying to fight the PA announcer, Steve, I'll tell you that much. But apart from that Hassett touchdown in the second quarter, excuse me, you've seen most of the success coming through the running game.
Warriors have 2nd and 8.
That was Henry, by the way, on that carry. 2nd and 8, less than 8 to go. The rain has slowed down a little bit, but it's still coming down. Foxboro opened up the playbook in the second quarter, throwing more now. Here's Hassett to his right, looking way downfield, coming back for it, but it's incomplete at midfield. Hard to see the number in the rain, but might be O'Donnell.
Hassett pass intended for number 1, Jack O'Donnell.
It was.
Incomplete.
Unable to come back for that.
Yeah, O'Donnell wanted to come back for that ball, just the slick ground, not able to get his footing, falls before he can come back.
Third down for the Warrior 32-yard line.
Falls before he can come back on that comeback route, and the ball just falls underneath.
Big play for the Stoughton defense. They came out in the second half with a touchdown. Unfortunately, they were not able to convert the 2-point conversion, but they have a 3rd and 8. They can get the ball back if they can stop Foxboro here, passing situation. But in this 3rd and long, Martinelli has shown he will run the ball and try not to turn it over. And they do run it. He goes up the middle, does Hassett, fighting for the first down. And that is close. I believe he may have gotten it.
Yeah, Hassett stopped initially and then does a good job barreling over the line. It looks like he's got the first.
So they do run on 3rd and 8. And it's effective. Hassett with the running play. 1st and 10.
First down, Warriors.
You heard it.
Yeah, a trend that we've seen time and time again from Martinelli tonight. Not afraid to keep the ball on the ground in those long 3rd down situations.
The number 29, Ryan Chenier.
On the play leading to the Iverson touchdown, Iverson ran the ball on a 3rd and long situation, leading up to the touchdown run. We saw Hassett there on 3rd and 8 with a 1st down carry. And Stoughton is ready for that. A loss of 3 or 4. That was Henry.
Yeah, that was Henry, but that was also Anthony Burke in the backfield ready for him.
Burke
Brought down by number 53, Anthony Burke.
His forward progress was around the 38, so a loss of a couple there. 2nd and long coming up for Foxboro. 13-12 Warriors, 6.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. No scoring in the 1st quarter. We had 13 points for Foxboro, 6 for Stoughton in the 2nd quarter. Stoughton came out here in the 3rd quarter with a touchdown by Alex Iverson. They missed the 2-point conversion. It's 2nd down. Hassett looking deep along the near side. Sanda had it in his hands for an interception, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, Sanda normally.
Intended for number 82, J.T. Burke.
Santa normally sure-handed there, just not able to corral the ball. You know, the wet conditions, ball slipped right out of his hands. Would have been a big turnover for Stoughton to get the ball in good field position.
They were looking for senior J.T. Burke, number 82 on that. So the ball is on the 39. They need to
Third
get
and about 11
past
for the Warriors.
6-11 in the third quarter, third and long. Will they run it or pass it? Pass it. Scrambling, and they're sacked by Jason Joseph. Fourth down coming up.
Yeah, Jason Joseph doing a good job shedding the block, keeping the pursuit on, and able to get to Hassett.
Stoughton tackle by number 32, Jason Joseph.
So
Bring down the
Foxboro
fourth down
forced to punt.
for the Warriors.
Back for the Black Knights, Ruben Gonzalez, dangerous, along with
On the punt for the
Wu,
Warriors,
also
number
dangerous.
14, Liam Foley.
Liam Foley, the punter. He also serves
Back
as
to the Black Knights.
other quarterback
Number
for
1,
Foxboro.
John Rue. Number 2, Ruben Gonzalez.
Foley is able to handle it.
Keeps the kick low out of the wind.
Yep, they let it roll. Stoughton not wanting to take a chance and turn the ball over as they did on the first punt of the game.
Foley punt down by number 24,
Stoughton has-
Tommy Gallagher.
Leading,
At the Black Knight 31-yard line.
trailing.
31-yard line.
13-12.
1-10 for the Black Knights.
Yeah, trailing in this game, but not an unmanageable deficit. Only down by 1. You don't have to get too aggressive here. You could still
Actually, the ball's
run the
on the
offense as
32-yard
normal.
line.
Keep the possessions in your favor.
1st and 10 for Stoughton.
Just ball security. You know that's what Burke's preaching right now.
1st and 10, Stoughton has it on his 32, down a point. They try some misdirection along the far side, but that is stopped effectively by the Foxboro defense.
Yeah, you saw that play on their last scoring drive from Stoughton. They like to use that misdirection, send Lee or send Shoquist to the right side and give the ball underneath to Anderson or to Iverson going the other way.
Tough
Iverson on the carry
first half for
for the
Justin
Black
Lee.
Knights.
He had 2 fumbles,
Brought down by number 56, David Dow.
both of which led to scores.
Yeah, the 2 fumbles early don't help your confidence
Second
too
and a
much.
long 10 for the Black Knights.
But he still was getting his name called later on in the half. I mean, he's still explosive, so you still got to give him the ball.
2nd and 11 on the 31, Iverson in motion. Very little on that run.
No, Foxboro was ready for that.
3rd and long coming up.
Not getting distracted by the misdirection. You know, got guys flying everywhere, but just the run up the middle, not able to get
Foxboro
everything.
tackle on number 71, Sean Teixeira.
Stoughton has not been able to throw the ball today. They had a great chance on their first series with Gonzalez
Ball was
streaking
carried
down
by number
the
33, Alex
seam.
Soquist.
They were just a little long
3rd and 10 for the Black
on the
Knights
pass connection.
on their own 32-yard line.
But Gibb has done a very good job throwing the ball to this point this season. We'll see if they can get something going here on 3rd and 10, down a point. If they run it along the near side on 3rd and 10, Lee has nowhere to go. That'll be 4th down coming up and a punt coming up.
Yeah, nowhere to go, driven straight out of bounds. And like you mentioned, their one pass attempt to
Justin Lee on the
Gonzalez
carry.
just over the head.
Stoughton knocked out of bounds by number 7, Louis Piccolo.
And outside of Medina's pass attempt to close out the second quarter, you're not seeing Stoughton go through the air a lot here. They're keeping the ball on the ground. Obviously, it worked with Iverson's long run. But other than that, very one-dimensional right now, and Foxboro was able to take advantage.
Stoughton last week had 4
Soquist back to punt for the Black Knights.
double-digit scoring drives. So the punt by Shoquist, Henry takes it, cuts upfield, stays on his feet, comes to the near side, good run by Henry,
Good moves there.
and he gets up near midfield. 1st and 10, Foxboro.
Ball fielded by Mike Henry.
In
Brought
great
out to the
position.
Foxboro
Did a lot of
49-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Warriors.
east-west running there, but able to he caught that just on the other side of his 30, but able to get it almost to near field. Like I said, a lot of east-west, but a lot of north-south to go with it.
I want to clarify something I said. 4 of Stoughton's 6 drives last week were double-digit plays run by the offense. Great ball control last week. Didn't have to throw the ball that much. And they're trying for the same kind of thing here tonight. And in the rain and wind, it's been problematic in all phases of the game. Foxboro has it on its 48, 3:31 to go, third quarter. Foxboro up a point. This is Devin Hassett, the quarterback. Hands it to Capichetti. Capichetti, his knee was down around the
Number
48.
34, Anthony Capichetti.
Gain of about 3.
You know, one thing you mentioned, Steve, is you get those long, sustained drives, and what that does for your offense, oh, better yet, what it does to the opposing team's defense, keeps them on the field, they're gassed, they're tired, and you keep that tempo going, you control the game, you control the line of scrimmage. The defense isn't able to keep up because you're at such a fast pace, so you're able to control the possession, and you're able to do whatever you want on offense, essentially.
Turnovers have been a major factor for Stoughton in this game to this point in the first half. 2nd and 6. Foxboro up a point. Hassett fakes to Capichetti, comes to the near side. Good move.
Hassett on the quarterback keeper.
John Jolly rides him, but a great run by Hassett.
First down, Warriors.
This thing's getting a little chippy there near the end of the play, but we've seen some fancy moves here from Foxboro's ball carriers.
So tackle on number 54, John Jolly.
Ball in the 39. Hassett has demonstrated some very good running ability.
First and 10 for the Warriors on the Black Knight 39-yard line.
So Hassett gets the play. New series here for the Warriors. 2:17 and running to go in the third quarter. Foxboro doing a good job offensively on this drive. The pitch to Capichetti along the far side. Tries to cut upfield.
Capichetti on the carry.
Gets a couple. Less than 2 to go, third quarter.
And
Tackle on Stoughton's number 33, Alex Soquist.
Martinelli taking a page out of Burke's playbook here, just keeping the ball on the ground, keeping the possession in his hands, burning out the clock, and can't let Stoughton back in this ballgame if they don't have the ball.
2nd and 8 on the 37 of Stoughton.
A 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7
Foxboro
for the Warriors.
has utilized 2 quarterbacks
On the Stoughton 36-yard line.
but Hassett has been in there the whole game and he's been effective. He has a touchdown pass. He's been running well. 2 receivers out to the left in motion to Ray. 2nd down. Hassett's going to run again. And he gets close to
Devin Hassett on the
30.
quarterback keeper.
Close to a first down.
Yeah, design QB draw
Brought
there.
down by number 33, Alex Soquist.
Send the receivers out wide, open up the middle of the field, and let Hassett just try to find his way up the middle.
3rd and 2 for Foxboro. Getting late here in the third quarter. Homecoming at Jack Martinelli Field. Jack Martinelli in his
3rd and about 2 for the Warriors.
coaching Foxboro. Foxboro has not beaten Stoughton since 2009. You know that was brought up today. Time for Foxboro to beat Stoughton in their minds. But a big defensive play on 3rd and short with Burke in the middle, Lee there. And it is now 4th down. Also in there for Stoughton was David Bell.
Mike Henry on the carry.
4th down coming up. As the third quarter comes to a close. 5 seconds and running.
Brought down by number 3, Justin Lee. And number 34, David Bell.
And Anthony Burke there, slow to get up. You see him limping off the field, so we'll be looking for that. As we go into the 4th, he's been a big playmaker for this defensive line for Stoughton, plugging up the middle. So we'll look for him in the 4th and see if we can keep that leg healthy.
We're going to have a very big play to start the 4th quarter. It's 4th and 4 on the 34 of Stoughton. So the decision for Jack Martinelli is, do you punt in Stoughton or do you go for it in the rain and wind to try and maintain possession and try to keep the scoring drive alive?
Well, I think if you're Foxboro here, you got the change in one thing I've noticed, you got the change in field position here. So Stoughton's going to be going against the wind as they get the ball back on offense here, depending on what Foxboro does. So if I'm Foxboro here, I punt it deep, hit them back in their own zone, and see if you can make Stoughton's offense, which hasn't seemed too impressive tonight on either side of the ball, either passing or throwing the ball, or running the ball, excuse me. So I think you put the ball in Stoughton's hands, and you see if they can beat you on offense, which they haven't been able to do so tonight.
With all the running, this has been a quick-moving game. We have not had a lot of passing. Foxboro does have a touchdown pass in this game on a great catch, getting a foot in bounds by the senior Phil DeRay. But really, it's been mostly running on the part of both teams. And now, Foxboro faced with a 4th and 4 on the 34 of Stoughton. Here comes the first play of the 4th quarter, and it's a big one. Pass it with Henry to his right. Pass it rolls to his right, looking for blocking. Leaps, and that is close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it.
Yeah, depending on what spot they give Hassett there, just an acrobatic play, just giving it everything he's got to try to get that first down. It looks like he might be short, but we'll wait for the spot, and it is short.
4th down run by number 10, Devin Hassett.
So they ran a power sweep there with the quarterback. And Hassett gave it everything he had, but it is a first down for Stoughton. A huge play, denying Foxboro
Well, it's just
first
short.
down.
The Black Knights will take over on downs.
Knights have it.
Yeah, it's a pivotal possession here for Stoughton. Don't necessarily have to score in a hurry, but you got to put points on the board here for Stoughton.
Down a point, Stoughton starts its first series of the 4th quarter. Give hands. They get about 4. I think that's Showquist. Second down coming up.
Alex Silquist on the carry.
Ball on the
Right down by
35.
number 56, David Dow.
So a solid 4-yard
Second
run
and
by
6 for the Black
Showquist.
Knights.
Showquist's first touchdown of his career came in the Foxboro game last year.
Ball on the Stoughton 35-yard line.
It's 2nd and 6. Gonzalez to the near side.
Yeah,
Let's see
haven't
if they
heard-
can try to get him involved offensively.
Yeah, haven't heard Gonzalez's name too much here in the second half.
They run the misdirection with Lee, and he is stuffed.
Oh, he just got jacked.
He gets up.
I don't know how.
That was a
Stoughton carried by number 3, Justin Lee.
Yeah,
Tackled by number 44, Matt Pond, and number 22, Mike Henry.
yeah,
I
Mike.
couldn't tell if it was Pond or Henry with that hit, but Lee got right up.
Henry will get his name on the
Third-
tackle sheet there, but that was
third
Mike
for the Black
Pond
Knights.
delivering the huge tackle.
3rd
On their own
and 3.
37-yard line.
So Stoughton now trying to keep the drive alive on a 3rd and 3. 9.5 to go, 4th quarter. Give hands. Iverson. That's close. And they move the chains.
Run by number 25,
First
Alexander Iverson.
Yeah, Iverson, quick,
First
excuse
down,
me,
first
Iverson
down by
quick to
number
get off the
44,
field there. We
Matt
see him
Pond.
going straight to the ground, helmet off. So we're looking for that later on in the game. He doesn't look to be too happy on the sideline in pain.
Big play, though. They keep the
Ball at
drive
the
alive.
43-yard line for Stoughton.
A very important play there. The last thing you want to do is get a quick 3 and out to give the ball right back to Foxboro.
Stoughton has the only points of the second half. Long touchdown run by Alex Iverson, 52 yards. Still, they trail by a point. 1st and 10. Give fakes. Looks to go downfield, but he's in trouble, and he is brought down for a loss at the 40, about a 3-yard loss. Pass protection and the ability to get open on that play, not there
Sacked by
for
number
Stoughton.
91, Alex Bernard.
Two things leading to that sack there for Foxboro. One,
Brings the
the
ball
line of scrimmage
back
is
to the
falling
Stoughton
apart
40-yard line.
on Gibb, converging
2nd
on
and
him.
13
And then you
for
look
the
at
Black Knights.
and then you look at the secondary there, just doing a good job in coverage. You don't get too long to throw the ball, especially at the high school level. So just not able to look downfield and just keeps the ball in his hands and just takes the sack.
2nd and 13. Showquist in a slot. Rue to the near side. Less than 8 to go. Fourth quarter. Gibb. To the far side it goes. They run the screen with Sanda. Fumbled after he caught it, but I think he got it back.
Yeah, I think Sanda may have rolled back on top of that ball, but just not what you need if you're Stoughton. You need to keep the ball in
Pass
possession.
number 12.
Just get points.
Sanda.
Well, they were showing action to the left side, but they went out to the right side.
Bubble, and it's recovered by the Black Knights. 3rd and 11.
It was a minimal gain to begin with, but they were fortunate to keep the ball. The ball
From the
is
Stoughton
marked on
42-yard line.
42. 3rd and long. 7:15 and running left. Fourth quarter.
Yeah, not a lot of plays in your playbook for 3rd and long here. You need to get a big yardage here.
Can they find an effective pass play here? Gibbs straight back. He is hit. The ball is loose. Evan Gibb is getting hit hard here in the backfield in this game. And he limps off. The Foxboro defense has been tenacious.
Yeah, this is a brutal
Foxboro
beating
hit by
that the
number
Black
18,
Knights can
Pat
take into.
Caveney.
Caveney, number 18, the senior. And
Pushes the ball back to the Stoughton 36-yard line.
Evan Gibb was a little bit shaken up there after that hard hit. He took a big hit on a run in the first half, left the game.
1 second, Dodge timeout, White.
This has been a physical test for the Knights tonight.
Yeah, you knew Foxboro was going to come into this game with a chip on their shoulder, especially with the loss they took from the same Stoughton team last year. And these two teams just don't like each other, and Foxboro is getting the better hand tonight.
And again, we mentioned Foxboro has not beaten Stoughton since 2009. Jack Martinelli has had a fabulous career, 4 Super Bowls, 8 Super Bowl appearances, 36 years coaching. Stoughton Showquiz punts it. They let it go. It'll bounce around the Foxboro 40 where the Warriors will take over upper point. We were mentioning the hard hitting. There was that hit the
Punt
pond.
down right outside the 40-yard line of the Warriors. 1st and 10 for Foxboro.
There was that hit pond put on Lee just before the hit on Gibb. So it's
Warriors will start at the 41-yard line.
I use the word tenacious. I think that's a pretty good way to describe how Foxboro has played defensively against a Black Knights offense, which has been very good in its first 2 games.
Yeah, very good in their first 2 games, but a bit of lackluster performance tonight. And tenacious is a very good word to describe it. They've come out physical. They've come out hard hitting.
Henry is behind Hassett. They're up a point. I have a feeling they're going to try and ground and pound. Here's Henry, but a good defensive play by Showquist. 3-yard loss. Second down and long coming up.
Mike Henry. Brought down by number 33, Alex Showquist.
Yeah, what Showquist isn't getting done on the offensive side of the ball tonight, he's making up for it on the defensive side. I mean, 13 points is still not a lot on the scoreboard. So defense is still playing hard, just offense isn't doing anything to make up for it.
Foxboro needs to get past midfield. It's second down and about 12. That was a loss of 2 on the Showquist defensive play. He has been excelling this season on both sides of the ball. 33, Alex Showquist, the senior. 5.5 to go. Second and 12. Stoughton would love a turnover, but I think they jumped offside. We'll see if there was motion or an offside there.
I don't think he was baited by the defender, but I saw the left side of the line. That was 18, Pat Caveney. Jumped early.
Good call? Well, let's see. We're going to discuss this one. Hard to tell who was first.
Yeah, the movement on both sides of the line there, but I think it's 18 on the left side for Foxboro.
You want to join that huddle and tell them that?
I don't know. If they need my opinion, I'm always happy to get down there. I have some experience as a baseball umpire, but football's
Good
not.
call, I think. I think they're going backward. It took them a while to figure that one out.
Yeah, it took them a while to realize that one player jumped. No, but going back to what you said earlier.
On the Warriors. Brings the ball back to the 34-yard line.
with Sjoquist making a name for himself here in his senior season. He's
Second down for Foxboro.
you lose a lot of players. You know, you lose Swain Price, you lose Sullivan from last year's team. And you got new guys, like we mentioned in the Franklin game, guys who have to step up. Sjoquist is one of those guys, and he's proven on both sides of the ball he can be that leader that the Stoughton team needs.
This is a 2nd and 17. They flood the right side with receivers. Hassett looking deep. It is broken up, double coverage by Stoughton. Hadley was back there, and also back there was Gonzalez as they were looking for...
Hassett pass, intended for number 2, Teddy Mayer.
So it's 3rd and very long for Foxboro.
And again, a good ball there by Hassett, and Teddy Mayer was able to get his hands on it.
Matthew Hadley.
But good pursuit by Hadley there to break up the play.
3rd and 17. What will Foxboro elect to do? The rain and wind have been constant. Foxboro's done a pretty good job on their part of limiting turnovers. They have not been turning the ball over in this game. It's 3rd and 16. Probably something safe here. And Hassett's been running well all game long. He follows his blocker. Good yardage. Stays at his feet. Down the sideline. Very deep into Stoughton territory. Hadley saved the day. A breakdown by the Stoughton defense on that 3rd down run by Hassett.
Yeah, definitely a breakdown there. Not something
Brings the ball down.
Not only do you let up the big play, but you keep them in bounds too.
First down, Warriors.
Yeah, the clock's going to stop with the movement of the chains, but once they set the ball, the clock's going to start running again. If you're Stoughton there, you at least need to push them out of bounds, even if you're going to let up the big play.
Unofficially 43 yards on that carry. We may look back and think that was the biggest play of the game because Stoughton was on the verge of getting the ball back on a 3rd and long scenario. And you had to figure that Foxboro was not going to take a huge chance there. Hassett's been running all game, and they were unable to contain him along that sideline and get the stop that they needed. And now the ball is on the 23 with the clock running. Foxboro up a point. And a timeout is called. They're going to give Hassett a rest there.
Timeout, Foxboro.
Devin Hassett is a senior, and he has played like a senior tonight. Very effective handling the ball for Foxboro. Has not been committing turnovers. He has been a real leader out there, a quarterback for Foxboro.
Now, one of 35-plus seniors that this Foxboro team is sporting tonight. With experience comes the memories of that loss from last year, and you know they were coming out here ready to fire. And just an outstanding run there by Hassett. In the moment, makes the awareness to keep himself in bounds with the cutback back to the middle of the field, and just able to make a huge play right when his team needed it.
Davenport division opener for Stoughton. Coming off 2 Hockomock wins against Franklin and Catholic.
First down, Warriors on the Black Knight 23-yard line.
On the ropes here. It's homecoming in Foxboro, Jack Martinelli Field. 1st and 10 on the 23. They go up the middle with Henry. Henry gets past the 1st down marker.
Mike Henry on the run.
Yeah, we've seen that one before. Henry up the middle, let him bull over the line, and just get some good yards.
First down, Foxboro.
So the ball goes from the 23 to the 13. And now Stoughton in a position where they cannot allow a score here.
Henry's run brings the ball down to the Black Knight 13-yard line.
Or they will find themselves in a very precarious situation to come back in this game. And the clock continues to move on top of everything else. 1st and 10, less than 4 to go. Now the Foxboro running game has been very effective. 2 receivers out to the right and a flag. Delay of game on Foxboro. They've had a couple penalties in this game. The most
Delay game
prominent
penalty on the Warriors.
The biggest penalty I think Foxboro had in this game, as my memory serves, was the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the extra point, which led to a long extra point drive.
Pushes the ball back to the 18-yard line.
Another key play in this game,
Stoughton
went for 2 to take the lead after their touchdown in this half, unable to score
Yeah, you don't go for 2 in that. You're looking at a different ball game here.
if they were able to convert the extra point.
Correct.
It's 1st and 15 on the 18. Hassett has been running effectively. Lee holds him up, didn't want a personal foul.
Hassett on the quarterback keeper.
Second down coming up.
No, didn't want a personal foul there, but more importantly, wanted to try to push him out of bounds.
Pushed out of bounds by number 3, Justin Lai.
So the ball
Justin Lee.
down to about the 12. Hassett got 5 or 6 on that run. Hassett has been very effective running the ball. That big play that we just saw keeping the drive alive. Second down and 10. In motion to Ray. The hand to Henry. Lee in the middle of that. Third down, big play coming
Hand
up.
off to number 22, Mike Henry. Justin Lee on the tackle for the Black Knights.
Timeout called.
Again, Henry up the middle and Lee doing a good job standing him up to keep him from getting yards.
So 3:23 on the clock.
Timeout Stoughton.
Another big third down scenario for the Knights. Foxboro had a third and very long on this drive in their own half of the field, and Hassett with a brilliant run up the left sideline, putting the ball deep into Stoughton territory. After a Henry run, they got it inside the 15, and now after the timeout, a major play coming up here in this game, 3rd and 8. Foxboro up a point. Henry alongside Hassett. Hassett rolls out. He's going to run again. He's knocked out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. I think he's short. It's 4th down coming up.
Devin Hassett on the carry. Knocked out by number 3, Justin Lee.
Justin Lee knocked him out. The ball started, the line of scrimmage, I should say, was on the 11. It's on the 5 now. I think it's 4th and 1 if the angle here that we have is correct. 4th and 1 or 2. It's right on the 5-yard line. They need to get
Timeout Foxboro.
inside the 4, it looks like.
And now it's decision time, Steve, if you're Foxboro. A field goal, a potential field goal here
4th down.
puts you up by 4. You know, if Stoughton doesn't go for that 2-point conversion and takes the
For the
points, it's a
Warriors.
different ball game. But Foxboro, now with the decision to make, worst case is Stoughton has the ball on their own 5-yard line if you don't get the first down here. You take the points or you go for it, and you just risk Stoughton's offense beating you, which they haven't been able to do tonight.
Well,
They haven't been able to do anything.
I think there are several reasons why they're going to run or go for it. One is they've been running really well.
Correct.
2, Hassett's been very effective running the ball. 3, as you said, if they don't convert, Stoughton is still on its 5-yard line, and Stoughton really hasn't shown much of an ability to get big plays in this game. And
Folks, please be sure.
the 4th reason I think would be
bottles
this defense has been
and paper goods
terrific
and used
from
barrels
Foxboro in this game.
that are around the Jack Martinelli Field.
So it's
Thank you.
4th and they have 2 on the scoreboard. It's close to the 5-yard line. Should they score a touchdown, they'd go up 7 pending the extra point. But a major situation for Stoughton's defense in this Davenport division opener. It's 4th and 2. Hassett rolls to his left. Looks for blocking. Stoughton with the stop. I don't think he got it.
I don't know, we'll check the spot here, but Henry doing a good job taking a one-on-one blocking on the outside.
Devin Hassett
Too
on the
many guys
carry.
over there.
Well, this is a big situation here as to where they mark it. It was a little hard to tell along the far side how close he was.
The measurement on the 4th
They're
down
going to measure
play.
this.
We'll judge by the reaction pretty quick if they got it or not.
Yeah, I had it right. He did not get it. I like when I'm right.
Yeah, but not necessarily a bad thing if you're Foxboro here. Well, not saying you being right is a bad thing either, but not necessarily a bad thing if you're Foxboro. Because like we said, Stoughton's got the ball back deep in their own territory, and I haven't seen a lot from them on offense with the exception of Iverson tonight. So Foxboro, their defense playing very well, and Stoughton didn't have to prove me wrong here if they're going to get back in this ball game.
Well, let's remember the first series of the game for for Stoughton. Gibb to Gonzalez just missed a long touchdown
You're right.
pass.
So you know it's in the playbook.
On their own 4-yard line.
I'm saying he throws it to Gonzalez. Let's see what they do. 1st and 10 on their own 4. They do try to run it with Lee, get some space. He cuts upfield. Good run by Lee. Out of bounds, though.
Yeah,
Justin Lee on the
pushed
carry.
out of bounds.
He almost broke that.
Yeah, he had a lane. Just Foxboro able to get him out. And I was talking about that matchup at the beginning of the game, the DeRay against Gonzalez on the outside. I hope you're right. I hope they look to Gonzalez because I've really enjoyed seeing them battle back and forth the entire night.
In the first game of the season, Gonzalez had a 45-yard run. He had a bunch of all-purpose yards.
2nd and 9 for Stoughton.
He has had a lot of catches this season.
At their own 5-yard line.
They're going to look to their playmaker here. The senior DeRay is on him along the near side on 2nd and 9, they call it. And they do look for Gonzalez, but a flag. They were going to try and run some sort of screen action there with Iverson blocking, but all for naught with a penalty.
Yeah, they had sent out Iverson. I don't know if that was just because of the whistle blowing the play dead, but it looked like he had some space out there to run.
It was offside, though. So a break for Stoughton. Plenty of time left on this drive, less than 3, but they need to get going.
Offside call on the Warriors.
Down a point.
Brings the ball out to the 10-yard line.
This is a real gut check for the Stoughton offense.
Stoughton will have a 2nd and 4.
Down a point against a hard-hitting defense. On the road at Foxboro. Foxboro has not beaten Stoughton since 2009. Davenport division opener. Everything working against Stoughton right now, down a point, but let's see if they can come back with a big drive here. They go up the middle, being patient, not looking for all of it on one play here, and it's close to a 1st down.
Foxboro tackle by number 44, Matt Pond.
They do get the 1st down.
Stoughton gets the 1st down.
And that's big. And not only is that the change over, you get a new set of downs. Gives you a little breathing room on the back in the backfield too. You're not pinned up against your goal line.
1st and 10 on the 15. Two and a half to go in the 4th quarter. Misdirection. Lee up the right side for about 7 or 8.
Justin Lee on the carry.
So a decent chunk of yardage, but the clock is ticking.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that play had me fooled too. You had a lot of action going to the left side of the field, the near side, and then Lee taking off on the far side.
Close to a 9-yard gain there. 2nd and short. Stoughton has it on his 24, being patient here. Not trying to get
The
this
Black
score on
Knight
one play.
19-yard line.
Gonzalez to the near side. In motion, Iverson. Gibb goes down. I'm not sure if he was trying to run with it or what the plan was there, but that didn't work.
No, that looked designed because the only guy that was going deep for Stoughton was Iverson, 25.
Matt Pond.
It looked like Gibb wanted to tuck that and run with it, but he just had nowhere to go. Now a timeout.
On a 2nd and short, I could see it.
Timeout Stoughton.
Try to move the chains, but now,
left in the ball game.
after the loss, the ball is back at the 23.
3rd and about 3 for the Black Knights.
3rd and 3. Stoughton down a point. It's been a struggle. The only scores for Stoughton in this game, an 87-yard kick return by Gonzalez in the 1st half. The only points of the 2nd half were Stoughton's 6 points on the long run by Alex Iverson of 52 yards. They missed the 2-point conversion. That is the only score that the Stoughton offense has been able to muster, aside from the kickoff by Gonzalez. They only have 12 points in this game. It's 3rd and 3. Late in the game, they do run it with Iverson along the near side. He gets the first down, and he almost had a big game, but DeRay with the tackle.
DeRay able to come over on the backside, make a good play, and put it in the hands of the guys who are making plays all night. And Iverson, he's proven time and time again, he can, his number's called, he's ready to make the play.
Out of about the 31-yard line.
So they do get the first down. They have it on their own 31. A minute 50 to go in the 4th quarter. Stoughton down a point. Tense moments here in Foxboro.
Movement up front.
I thought they jumped, but Lee takes the pitch and goes out of bounds along the far sideline.
Justin Lee on the carry.
Minimal gain.
And smart there from Lee. Just get out of bounds. You don't have anything going upfield. No sense in trying to force something. Just get out of bounds. Stop the clock.
You have to wonder at what point will they try to open up the passing game.
I mean, we saw with that what was going to be a screen to Gonzalez earlier on in the possession, but the penalty negating that.
Gain of 1. 2nd and 9. A minute 39 to go, 4th quarter. Stoughton down a point. They beat this team last year 42-3.
2nd and 9 at the Black Knight 32-yard line.
A new season. A very well contested game by these two teams. Stoughton, do they have a big play in them here? Gibb over the middle to Gonzalez. We talked about it. He gets the first down. Up to his 45. A gain of 13. They're in.
Now you got to get back to the line. You got to get your next play from the sideline, or you got to clock it right now.
Stoughton first down.
It's getting 10.
On their own 45-yard line.
1st and 10. They kill the clock on that play. Maybe a little early for that.
Yeah, not a bad move there. You just want something to kill the clock. Maybe you didn't have your next play set. So if they weren't exactly ready, I don't blame them for stopping the clock there, but you got to think in your head. You need to have a sequence of plays ready to go. So if you do get those long downfield strikes, you got to be ready for the next play.
Tackle was by number 3, Phil DeRay.
Well, this gives them a chance to talk about what they want to do. The clock is stopped, so there was a method to that.
Stoughton has 2nd and 10 on their own 45-yard line.
They do lose a play, though, so we'll see if that works out.
Minute 30 left in the ball game.
Iverson and Gonzalez to the near side. 2nd and 10, a whistle.
Yeah, going back to what you said, Steve, you do lose a play there, but in this situation, everything is 4-down territory, so 4 chances to get each first down.
Well, that procedure penalty brings them back to the 40 now. And it's 2nd and 15.
Stoughton penalty pushes the ball back to the 40-yard line. 2nd and 15.
Again,
for the Black Knights.
Let's see if Ruben Gonzalez is a factor here. He is along the near side with Sanda in the slot. It's 2nd and 15. Gibb is going to run. He gets 5 up to the 45.
Having Gibb on the carry.
But it's 3rd and 10 coming up.
45-yard line.
So they get some of that yardage back that they lost on the penalty, but they're still faced with a 3rd and 10, a minute 23 to go.
Stoughton now has a 3rd and 10 from the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I know
go ahead, Dan.
I know you're trying to get yardage back there for what you made up in the penalty, but I just don't agree with keeping the ball on the ground here. You need to take shots downfield. You still got half the field to go. You need to get big yardage right now, and I don't know what their timeout situation is, but if you have something to waste, taking those long downfield shots doesn't seem like a bad idea.
Exciting finish here. Stoughton down a point. 3rd and 10 on its own 45.
Look at DeRay coming over the top.
Gibb to his left. Throws downfield, looking for Gonzalez. The pass was short.
Pass intended for number 2,
almost
Ruben Gonzalez.
Picked off by Devin Hassett, whose name
almost picked off by number 10, Devin Hassett.
They look for Gonzalez.
Black Knights now face 4th and 10
This
from their
is
own
it.
40-yard line.
4th and 10. The crowd getting
Loudest
into
they've
it
been
here
all
in
night,
Foxboro.
Steve. Loudest they've been all night. Homecoming night here. You know they like to come away with a big win.
Well, we talked about gut check time for Iverson, 5 yards, 8 yards along the sideline.
Depending where he went out, I think they've got it.
I think he got it too.
Stoughton pass to number 25,
Alex
Alexander
Iverson gets the first down. What a big play that
He brings the
was.
ball down to the
With a minute 8 to go.
40-yard line.
Stoughton has it on the 40 of Foxboro. Alex Iverson, who has the lone offensive touchdown for
Knocked out by number 3,
in this
Phil
game,
Duray.
with a huge play along the near sideline, getting the first down on 4th and 10. That was a pickup of 15. Let's see if we have a Stoughton victory on a last-minute drive.
Loading up the right side here. You got sand out there, Hadley, and a penalty.
I think that was a procedure penalty. This drive started on the Stoughton 4-yard line after they were able to get a stop. They've been able to move the ball out to the 45, and we've been speculating a lot on the play calling, but you know
Too many men
what?
on the field, brings the ball out
They've moved the
to the
ball.
Warrior 45-yard line. Stoughton will have it first down, 15.
Methodically, with some good play calling. 1st and 15, a minute 8 to go. Gibb takes it, throws to the far side. Now for Gonzalez. They contain him very well. They contain him very well there.
Yeah, you know when you see 2 on the field, you're going to have multiple guys ready to attack once he gets the ball in his hands. And a good job by Foxboro, able to recognize the
Foxboro
screen
tackle by
there.
number 44, Matt Pond, and number 2, Terrier.
Well, you know, if we're talking about getting the ball to Gonzalez, and Jack Martinelli's talking about it too.
Timeout, Stoughton.
Timeout.
We saw Iverson convert on that big 4th down play. He's been a weapon.
He's been the weapon tonight for Stoughton, if you ask me. I mean, Gonzalez with the kickoff return for the touchdown, but every time they've needed a big play, they've called 25 in white.
So just to repeat a couple points here, this is the Davenport Division opener for Stoughton. Obviously a big game in that regard. 2 big non-conference wins, but you want to win in your own division. Foxboro in the Division 5 South. Haven't beaten Stoughton since 2009. The Foxboro defense has been relentless in this game. The effective Stoughton offense of the first 2 games has been limited today. It's 2nd and 15. Ball on the Foxboro 45. Gibb with a screen pass, snuffed out by Foxboro to Gonzalez. They saw that coming. 50 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. It's 3rd and 15. Very loud here on homecoming.
Foxboro tackle by number 44, Matt Pond.
Matt Pond has been terrific defensively.
Third and about 15 for the Black Knights.
Gibb takes a snap. 3rd down and 15 play here. Gibb looks deep.
Took a huge hit there after the...
It's down there. It is incomplete. They were looking for Rue.
They were looking for Rue, and Foxboro big back in coverage. That was Phil Duray. And a huge hit there from Gibb. I believe that was 18. Pat Cavity delivered the huge hit. And Devin Gibson taking a beating all night. Good to see him get back up after that hit.
Black Knights.
One
At the
more
Warrior 45-yard line.
coming up for Stoughton. They converted their last 4th down situation with that play by Iverson. This drive started on the Stoughton 4. They were able to get it down to the 40. They've been pushed back to the 45. They need a first down with 27 seconds to go. It's 4th and 15.
Got O'Donnell playing safety over the top, deep safety. You got to get to the 30 here.
Gibb rolls out, looks over the sideline, caught. It is close to the first down by Sanda. They get
Pass
the
on
first
the
down.
First, great play by Santa. Have the awareness to get over the line after making that catch.
Well, getting
First
that
down.
first down was the first order of business. Now they need to get to the end zone, and the clock is running down. 15 seconds to go. 1st and 10.
They don't have any
really
timeouts, it looks like.
They gotta move it here.
They got to take a shot.
10
They got to take a
seconds.
shot here.
This is it. Gibb throws throws it at the show quiz.
Got to get out of bounds. Got to get out of bounds.
The game
Pass
is
off to number
over.
33, Alan Sokrat.
Foxboro, a major victory for Foxboro, beating Stoughton.
That's the ball game.
This is homecoming.
Final score.
This has
The
been-
Foxboro Warriors 13. The Stoughton Black Knights 12.
13-12, Foxboro comes away with an emotional victory against the Black Knights. This was a tremendously competitive game. Turnovers plagued Stoughton tonight, and I think turnovers and ineffective offense for the most part today, with some exceptions, is the story of the game.
Yeah, we said it from the top of the broadcast. Whoever wins the turnover battle is going to win this game tonight. You saw the 2 quick turnovers from Lee early, and on the opening kickoff or the opening punt from Foxboro as well. And Foxboro's defense just came to play here tonight. You knew they wanted to avenge that loss from last year. 35 seniors coming back. You knew they were ready to go. And Foxboro just doing a great job on both sides of the ball, getting the job done, getting the hard-earned victory.
So with the loss, Stoughton drops to 2-1, and with the win, Foxboro improves to 2-1. Next for Stoughton, Sharon. And then they've got games coming up at Stonehill College with Canton and North Attleboro. So some games to look forward to for the Black Knights.
Yeah, some big conference games that you know they're going to want to win after dropping one here at Foxboro.
Dan, a pleasure once again. Once again, the final score. Foxboro 13 and Stoughton 12. I want to thank all the people that you see on the screen from Stoughton Media Access.